Okay, now you can see that I've gone through with an X-Acto blade and removed a portion, about a millimeter. I tried to keep it to a millimeter. A couple of these got a little bit more than a millimeter. It's like a millimeter and a half of cardboard. Now, because I used, you can see here, you can see the 2 layers of board. You can see the gray book board, and then I veneered the outside in carton board. I pulled up the carton board and then a little bit of the, probably, I think this is 2 to 3 millimeters of gray board underneath. It looks a little rough. I went through and I added some more paint because I didn't like the white, and in some areas I think it's a little easier to see. Let me see if I can get the light here. You can see, like right by my finger, there's a little area where there's some paint loss. I went in with this red paint to go over those and make sure that that was covered up. I'm going to hit it, I think, one more time. Now, I thought a little bit more about what I wanted to do, and wow, when I'm looking at this, I think I need to take a little tiny bit more out of this one side. And you can see I've done something similar over here, and some of this is like I pulled up some areas, so that's why they bowed out a little bit. And you can see, again, I've gone in very carefully with an X-Acto and taken these areas out. Now, once they're out, what am I going to do with them? Well, for each of these, I'm going to do it a little differently. For this house, I'm going to be cutting out small pieces. I'll basically just cut a strip of this paper, cut a strip, and then make small pieces that I put in there. And again, I can also use the templates if I want to do it that way. I can just put it underneath, trace it, and pull it out. So that's what I'm going to do for this one with this brighter kind of yellow. Now, this one over here is going to be a little different. I still have to figure out how I'm going to do it. I want to do some lattice work on this paper, and I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to do it. I need to do some tests because the colored pencil may be just not it may be water soluble, so I need to look and make sure about that. I think I've got some barrel Prismacolors in here somewhere that I can use some colored pencil, and that would be fine. And then I decided, instead of using the carton board or painting them on, I'm going to cut them out of, you can see this is just some of my painted paper again. I'm just going to cut them out and then glue them on, because I think that'll look the nicest. And I've also got to do some more coats here. I mixed up some burgundy. It's not really burgundy. It's more of a, you can kind of see it. It's got some purplish elements in it and some blue, but it's not quite a really super deep burgundy. And then I've got the barn red that I'm using over here. And again, I thin these down a lot, so I'm doing a lot of kind of wash-like techniques. I'm going to have to be careful and get back in there and fix that, because you can see I goofed that up. Oh, we're not going to focus now. Yeah, I goofed that up right there. So this seems like a tremendous amount of work for 2 very, very small elements, but they're small, but they're important, if that makes any sense. So hopefully I can get that all done today. And when I get off here, I'm gonna go in. Well, actually, maybe I can just do that here. I'm gonna grab my knife. And the weirdest part of this is, I mean, this took me quite a while. It took me about 2 hours. Was coming in and being really, let me see if I can get this around, being really, really careful and using a really sharp knife. So basically I was just coming in and kind of whittling away at these sides. And I think I'm just going to have to, there we go. And every time I cut, I'm trying to make sure too I don't have anything that's in the way of that blade, so I might cut myself. Because some of this is pretty easy to pick off, and then I come in with my tweezers and start removing pieces, because sometimes it wouldn't go all the way through. So now I've got to come back in here. But again, remembering to go slow enough that I'm not cutting too far. I'm just cutting enough. And then you can see I'm kind of pulling parts of this out. I started using my tweezers in a way where I would put them down kind of flat and then just kind of work away at it a little bit. And it would kick up, you know, this little bit of, you can see this. These are the little, if I can get that to focus, the little recycled fibers and stuff. Now, this started to annoy me, these little things right here. So I pulled out, and this little brush just helps me, and it's just an old toothbrush, helps me to kind of see where I'm going while at the same time not being too like difficult on the work itself, because I'm kind of just, and that way I can look, and now when I look at this, this looks better, a little bit better. I think I may need to cut even a little bit more out, but that will take place off camera. So now you kind of know how I'm working on these. I want to do a lattice work here, and then put those on. And I think by the time there's a part of me that's like, okay, slow your roll there, Toots. I need to make sure that the white is nice and clean. So I've gone in and redone some of the white. And I think for this house, because I am doing white, I'm going to come in with some sealant and just add some sealant to keep any fibers, any loose fibers that are in here, like locked in. Where I don't think I really need that here, because if the little loose fiber comes out, it's not going to show up on this red. I've got one right there I need to get off because it's kind of lumpy, but I think the rest of them should be pretty much okay. So, wow, this video got long. That's what I'm doing right now, and hopefully you'll get to see what they look like here with some little windows pretty soon. Okay, thank you, patrons. I'll see you again in the next video.